Hi, I'm Bridget Aids with Brigitting the Gap. Thank you for joining our show today. I have Sharon Heller and Simon Zryd. They're a married couple, they're a power couple, and we're so excited to share their two businesses and their struggles on how they got there. So enjoy the show, but before I go, please remember, hit the subscribe button, the bell, and leave a comment. We would love that, and Sharon and Simon will be happy to respond back. All right, thanks you guys. Enjoy the show. All right, hi guys, how you doing?
Good.
Oh my God, Simon, how many years have we known each other now?
I think it was like 2012. I was very new to Denver, and you were probably one of the first people I met, actually.
I think you're right. And then I asked you to be a director for a company I was with, right?
Yes.
I snagged him into that. And Sharon, I really don't know you that well, but I know that you're probably the better half of Simon, I would agree, right? But tell me. Yeah. What I would love to do, though, is just tell our audience a little bit about you personally, because you have a beautiful daughter, and I'd love for you to brag about her if you wouldn't mind, and tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
All right, so I think, as you can probably hear by my accent, I'm originally from Switzerland. So I'm trying to get rid of the accent. It's not really working all that well.
Don't.
So, been in the United States since 2005, and we settled into Denver in 2009, I think, 2010. And yeah, I've been having a coaching business since 2012 when I started that.
What's the name of your coaching business?
Very simple, Denver Business Coach.
There you go.
Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much, we have a family. We have Deva, who is now 10, and Henry. And we're just living the life, I guess.
You're living the dream. You're
Living
an
the dream.
entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur, yes.
Goodness gracious. Yes, thank you. And Sharon, what do you have to add?
Yeah, well, I have spent about 25 years working in special education.
Oh, really?
Did about 5 years in the trenches working with really tough kids who needed a lot of support. And that created a lot of grit, I would say, and a lot of desire to give back. And then I spent about 20 more years in education leadership. So a lot of...
What does that mean?
Well, I would say almost all of the roles that I had were training roles, coaching roles, working with families, working with teachers.
And the same special needs?
With the special needs population, everything from preschool through college age. So I had a lot of opportunities working with school districts, supporting educators, which is probably one of the most under-supported.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then the families, of course, you know, so just really giving myself to that, and it was very rewarding. And I just stepped out of that actually about 6 months ago. So
we're going to talk about that, leaving the job.
Yeah,
that must have been scary.
You know, it was scary but timely. It just
was perfect.
I was at the point where it was just time for a change.
You know, since we're on that, let's just go with this. We're gonna just dive right in. I want to, for somebody who's listening in right now, and they want to become an entrepreneur. How do you make that decision? I mean, do you just quit your job and go into it? Do you make a plan? What was your route?
Yeah.
Well,
a plan is good, right? And
so don't listen to what you did?
Right.
Well, okay, good.
You make a plan and then throw it out the window.
Isn't that the
what
truth?
You need to do, right?
Yes.
So I try to look at my life in like increments of time, you know, and
Absolutely.
I was in my last leadership position for 5 years. And which was about what I initially committed to, right? I was like, I can commit to anything for 5 years.
Yes.
Incredible job, incredible company, but then I just started hitting this point where I felt like, you know, I don't think I've got another 5 years in me in this specific.
How many years ago was that you made this?
Well, it was the 5-year point 6 months ago.
Okay. Oh, wow. You are a good girl. You followed your vision on that.
I did somewhat, but I thought I would be in there for a few more years, which would give us more time to plan, right? And, you know, and Simon and I started talking about it because I was in a job that had me working 50 hours a week. That still felt like not enough.
That's what he wrote,
you know?
Is that you guys were just having a hard time putting the family in priority and all that.
Yeah, there was just a constant tension there. So while I loved what I did, he was in a big capacity job, as was I, and it was always like,
How do we balance
Yes,
this?
exactly.
Yeah.
So I would say my timeline kept moving up,
Oh, yeah.
Which
Very fast. Let's put
Well,
it
you
that
know,
way.
when you have that in your mind, you start to hate what you're currently doing. You're like, you know what? All of these things are bothering me, and they were a habit before.
Yes.
So I totally get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it. Yes.
Yeah, so all the planning and the discussion that I would say we were still in the pretty early phases of, all of a sudden I was like, all right, it's go time, you know.
It was like May of 2019 was the original plan, and then it kept moving back, or moving sooner.
Yes.
So yeah, it was very, very unexpected at the time, but it was just timely. Like you said, once you make the decision or once
That's
you were
right.
out, it was just.
How did you do with not getting that paycheck?
Yeah, it was a little scary.
Was it?
I had quite some leave time acquired that I hadn't used.
Oh, good.
You know, so I had a few months where I had income.
Okay.
So that was helpful.
Yes.
And I was really fried and really burnt out. So I committed to myself that I was going to have at least 6 weeks of like, don't even talk to me about work, which I have to give this guy credit.
Okay.
Because he's feeling the pressure.
So you just needed 6 weeks of just, I need some time to be me and be adjusted to what I'm doing.
Spend time with my
Okay.
kids. I slept a lot.
You didn't set your alarm clock, did
I
you?
did not. And meanwhile, he's sitting there squirming, right, feeling the
Like, when are you
tension
gonna do this? But you have to go in ready.
Yeah.
You have to be ready.
Yes.
Well, I applaud you for that because I know that's not an
Thank
easy
you.
decision. So, what I would love to know is, when you first came to America and you started your business, was there some fear? Because I know that, were you working for somebody or did you just jump right in and start your own company?
I did have a part-time job. I was working for a non-profit organization for a while, and I was doing some executive assisting roles. But when it was clear to start the company, I really jumped right in. And I did have a part-time job with a wealth management company for about 1.5 2 years. That was just bridging that the cash flow essentially. But it was pretty clear that it was time to get my own thing going. I had a vision. I knew what I kind of wanted to create, and I went after it.
And you know, when I've watched you grow, I remember when you called me and told me you got an office. I was so proud of you. I'm like, oh my God, he's got an office. And also, too, you're an author.
Yes, it's been
so
a while back.
I have this book. It's absolutely amazing. And your book is Successify Your Business. It's really a good book, and I will have how to get this information in the YouTube channel as well, but it's a very good book. I love it. I was one of the first ones to get a copy. I'm just saying, it helps to have friends in the right places.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Business Coach, and how did you come up with your new company, NIA? And I do want to ask some questions about that. I have the brochure and want to know a little bit about it. But let's talk about Denver Business Coach. And how did you, because I saw in your questionnaire, you incorporated it together, and it is absolutely perfect in parallel. So tell us a little bit about Denver Business Coach. How does that work?
So I think Denver Business Coach over the last few years has also evolved quite a bit.
Okay.
Where I think in the beginning, I started out very much focusing on helping business owners with their productivity, time management, task management.
Me, for one.
Which was around 2007. The iPhone had come out, the new productivity apps had come out, so everyone wanted to use technology and incorporate that in how they're operating personal productivity in their business. So that's kind of where I started out. Then it kind of evolved more into the marketing and sales kind of arena with business owners that were focused on growth. And now for the last couple of years, we're really focused on working with business owners that are actually looking to build a sellable asset, build a business that they can sell and increase the value of the company and help them exit. So even over the last 7 years, our focus has evolved quite a bit with Denver Business.
Well, and I love what you said, because as soon as you buy a business, I remember my very first salon, I was 17 years old, and the banker said, get ready to sell it. And I'm like, well, I just started it. He goes, no, you need to plan on how are you going to sell it? So don't call it Bridget's Salon. You know, you need to call it something kind of generic, if you will.
Yeah.
But so I love that you said that. Why is it important for a business owner to really start a business with the idea of selling it?
I think there's several reasons. I think most small business owners can relate with the fact that most of the money that they're making goes right back into the business.
Yes, sir.
So you have $1,000 at the end of the month left over. Are you going to pull it out into a retirement account, or are you going to put it back into the business? Most business owners, for the majority of their life cycle, it goes right back into the business. So most of the assets of a business owner are actually the value of the company. Now, and they're counting on at some point cashing out and using that for retirement purposes. If you don't have a business that's actually attractive to a potential buyer, you might think it's worth a certain amount, but it really is not. Or it might be worth a lot less than it actually is.
You are so true about that, because my salon, I thought it would be worth $1 million. It wasn't, because there's no guarantee the clients are going to go with it.
Yes.
Right? And then there's a rent, and are they going to like my salon? So you are absolutely right. When does somebody hire you? If do they start hiring you right away? Are you a good person to hire before you get into business? Let's guide you and get you set up right. And then during the business, and then are you just on staff all the time? Not staff, but could you be somebody that you work with on a monthly basis?
Yeah, I mean, so we have clients ranging from, we meet an hour and a half every week to once a month.
Okay.
And depending on the cycle that you're in as a business owner, the intensity of our work or the scope of our work can be bigger or less. Sometimes it's seasonality, where certain industries,
for sure.
Work, winter time is slow, and that's when we can do a lot of planning, and vice versa.
Okay.
But really, in terms of our client base, we work with anyone that's just starting out, that really wants to grow but wants to do it right, or really they're looking at an exit in the next 3 to 5 years.
Oh,
and,
perfect.
And know they've maybe gotten an evaluation, or they know what their business is worth, and now they want to get it to the next level, but be very intentional about that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And would you be willing to take a call if somebody's just like, I think this might be something for me, Simon? Can we just talk? Would you be willing? Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, coaching is something that really it's a match, right? You gotta find the right coach that can help you with wherever you are right now. And sometimes that is the methodology that comes to the table. Sometimes that's you're stuck in your mind and you need someone that can really connect with you and kind of unhinge whatever you're stuck with. So it always starts out with a conversation. It always starts out where you're at, where do you want to go?
Am I a fit for you?
Am I a fit for you?
And are you a fit for me?
Yeah.
Right?
So it always starts with a call. And
absolutely. And and I always tell everybody, please, but I know that when I started my business, I had a coach before I even got started, because I wanted to just play in hair and makeup. Oh, I have to run a business? Whoa. Oh, wait a minute. My creative brain doesn't know how to do that. I had to learn how to run a business. And I can't say I did it really well. I mean, there's a couple times I tripped, but I'm glad I always had a coach to pick me up or say, you might want to think about this another way. Yeah. So, excellent. Now, you're working with him as well, are you?
I am.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So you're a coach as well?
Yeah, so we have the Network in Action, which we'll talk about in
yes,
a
I'm so excited about
which
talking
is
about that.
the main place I'm focusing
right
now.
Got it.
But I'm also with Denver Business Coach as a personal growth and leadership coach. So what I have to offer is, a different angle.
Okay, so tell us about that.
Yeah. When I think about leadership and I think about, what's going to have somebody be successful in their business, they've got to work on themselves first, right?
Yes, it's painful.
Not everybody wants to,
but
right?
You've got to.
Or you're only going to get so far, and then you got to go back and
well, you only know what you know.
Yes.
I mean, really.
Yes. So I would say what I'm really passionate about is helping people be more aware, about their behavior, about what drives them, about what inspires them, and help them get really connected to that part so they can bring that to their business and then see what's in the way of that. What are their obstacles? Maybe they have self-doubt running all the time.
Old voices. Yes. Old voices.
Yes. And how does that affect their communication? How does that affect how they're showing up in their business? How does that affect how they're treating their employees?
Thank you, public school system, for your training. That is awesome.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And I don't think there's enough training out there for that. I love that.
Yeah.
Who's a perfect client for you? If we were to let them know, what does the perfect client look like for you?
I would say somebody who is at the point where they're kind of hitting the wall, right? In themselves. And they're like, I don't know, all the pieces of my business are in place, but I'm just stuck. I'm, maybe really challenged with my staff. There's a overwhelming feeling of negativity in the office, and I can't figure out what to do about it.
Oh, that's a good one.
I know there's things I need to teach my team. I need to be giving them feedback. But I'm so scared. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I think leaders hit those walls.
Absolutely.
And it's a very vulnerable thing to kind of own up to that.
Sharon, do you work with women? Because I know a lot of women that listen to this channel are 50 and above. Yeah. And, the kids are gone. You're an empty nester. You're looking at who you're married to. You're looking at the job you've been in forever. And then you say, is this it?
Yeah.
Is there something more? Is that a perfect person for you as well?
I think so, and when, we're at those junctures of our life, because I just shared, I was there kind of recently.
We both made a pivot in our life. I believe in pivots. Pivots are good.
Yeah, so to help people dig deep, really see what is next for them.
Perfect.
Really see what's going to motivate them to get out of bed and be passionate and fiery and
yes.
have something to contribute every day.
Where you go to bed and you can't wait to get up. Like
yeah.
me today. Last night I'm like, I get to be with Simon and Sharon tomorrow. I mean, what a beautiful way to wake up in the morning and to know you're doing what you love and you're passionate about. Right. Okay, now I'm really excited about NIA. So we'll talk about what NIA is, but I really want to cover the NIA difference. So you two are not necessarily franchise owners, you're community builders, is that correct?
Well,
is it a franchise?
We are franchise owners. We like the title community builder much more because that's what we're doing. It's a better description of our role. So
you don't have to be lonely as an entrepreneur. And that it can be very lonely. You look at the web designers in the basement working, and I remember talking to a couple people when I did coaching for a very short while. I am not a good coach, but when I did coaching for a short while, I noticed that a lot of people they become recluse and they don't go out and they don't realize you need human connection. Yeah. And I read an article not long ago. Remember when the cubicles came down and everything was open office? Yeah. Now people. When everything was open office and the cubicles came up. Human nature, they were missing each other. Yeah. Even though you could stand up and look over the cubicle, I think we need each other. Yeah. Yeah. It's a human need and a desire. So there's a lot of networking organizations that are beautiful and wonderful in Colorado. I'm so fascinated with yours. I would love for you to tell us a little bit about NIA and what are the 6 differences that are unique and different, because I find them very attractive. So tell us a little bit about NIA and how did you guys find it?
Yeah. Do you want to start with that?
I can start. I found it, yes.
Sharon and I could take over this whole conversation. But anyway.
I think in my personal development or business development, I've gotten to the point where I kind of had outgrown whatever structure I was in with the networking groups that I was participating with.
Yes.
And which was early mornings, weekly meetings, a lot of volunteer time that went into just the administration and the running of the group at the time. And depending on the position, it was more or less, but it was always took a lot of focus and energy on top of wanting to network, on top of wanting to grow the business, on top of running my own business. So it was time to really see if I had an environment that I'd like to network in, what would be the ideal environment?
Oh, wow.
And so I came up with a certain criteria, and then I went out and tried to look for that, and I found Network in Action, but I ended up realizing they didn't have any presence here in Denver at this point.
Okay.
So then the decision, and that was right around the same time when Sharon and I
whirlwind.
were
talking. I was moving up my deadline.
She was moving up her deadline.
Let's just throw something else in the mix.
Yeah.
So the dots just started connecting. Obviously, I think in business coaching and what you said, building relationships, having those trusted people in your network that we feel comfortable referring out to, that we have a community of the right quality of people that we want to be with, network with, and refer business with. All that kind of boiled together to really taking this opportunity and checking it out and seeing if that would be a fit and if it would be something that we would want to bring to Denver. Yeah. And I look at it yes, there is the differences that we're going to go over in just a little bit, which I think are really important.
Yes, they are.
And they're important also for a prospect or someone that's interested to kind of make a decision whether it's a good fit or not. But then there's like this other side of like the community and really the people that are in any networking group. It's the people that are going to make the difference. Whatever structure there is, if you have good quality people, it's worth something, and it's something you want to be part of. So with now having the right structure and us being in that position of actually being able to build that, I feel like we have access to both, and we can really bring this group together. Yeah.
I love that, and I love that because networking is part of coaching. You got to teach people how to network. Hello, you know, it's one of the biggest things. So tell us a little bit about what's the difference between NIA and what does it stand for?
So NIA stands for Network in Action, and a few of the key factors. I'll start, and you can jump in also. But we're professionally run, so you know this is our baby. We're getting the groups going, we're facilitating them, we're doing the behind the scenes work. So we're not asking our members to come forward and volunteer unless they want to, right?
No,
we're not
it's
going to
so
turn them away.
refreshing.
Yes.
Because when you're paying and volunteering, it can be exhausting.
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, so there is a full-time team. We have a third person as well, one of our staff, and we are completely committed to the success of our group. So I think that's one really important.
So you want the entrepreneurs to focus on truly building relationships, truly showing up, and networking.
Yes.
Because it's called networking for a reason. Yes.
Absolutely.
So, and then what are some of your other differences?
Yeah, well, we provide monthly instead of weekly meetings.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Simon mentioned that before as he was looking for a new networking model.
Right.
We were at the point where weekly meetings were just not good use of time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was kind of that question of, well, do I fit in another client this week or do I go to my networking meeting?
There you go.
So we have our meetings set up in a way that's going to be super efficient for our members. We meet once a month.
Nice.
We also provide a monthly group coaching session. So
what does that look like?
Yeah, well, do you want to talk about that part?
Yeah, I mean that's another piece that I really was very excited about, because it's an opportunity for business owners and for us to educate on business growth, on marketing, sales strategies, anything that's business or growth related, and have an environment for the two groups actually to come together. And what we're really looking for is, it's not about just a member having some visibility and talking about their business and being like a glorified sales pitch, but really bringing quality education to the group in that context of, we want to grow together, we want to build a community together. And for us as coaching, you know, it's a perfect environment to add additional value to the group that only meets once a month. You know, so it's not a mandatory thing, but if the topic is relevant, like you said, there's always further education. You don't know what you don't know, and there's a great opportunity to keep your pulse on important business related topics.
Are you guys interested in people who have never networked before, or are you looking more for the experienced networker in your specific?
They don't have to be experienced at networking, but we are looking for experienced professionals.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah,
you
big
know,
difference.
It
yes.
is, and you know, when I think about the members of our group, I want to feel confident personally referring every one of them.
Yes, ma'am.
So we are taking the time to really vet our members and make sure that they are, for one, going to show up, going to give, that they, you know, are not just there to get something, but they also are there to give up themselves.
Well, givers gain. I mean, they do. Givers just always gain in life. So good for you that you're looking for that.
And people who are credible, right? They have experience in their industry. Because who wants to be in a networking group where you don't want to refer out half the people?
Have you ever had that happen to you, where you put your name on somebody and they fall down and they don't follow through? Yeah. They're so I just want to die when somebody, I talk them up, I give them a referral, and my friend calls me and said they never called. I'm like, oh gosh.
Your reputation.
Oh gosh. Oh, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I know that there's a lot of great networking organizations out there, and I think when somebody's a brand new networker and maybe new in business, there are companies out there that are good for every week, I think that's where you get your training wheels.
Yes.
Oh, totally.
And then, and you learn how leadership, you learn how to participate, you learn all that, but it does get exhausting after years. And I agree with you on that. So with NIA, you have a couple of other differences as well. You have, what is that?
Oh, technology. So
Technology, yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk about the technology.
I don't talk about technology.
Yeah.
My team knows that. But anyway, what about the technology?
I'm not a super techie person, but what I can tell you is Network in Action has a technology platform to help members stay connected. So if you think about a group that's only meeting once a month, 2 if they come to the coaching session, we want to be sure we're engaging more than that. So we have a platform, a little bit like social media, where you can chat with each other.
That?
You can share videos, you can post stuff on there. So it keeps engagement going.
And that's part of the membership?
That's part of the membership.
Wow.
We have our members make an introductory video, and they put those videos on our webpage.
That's cool, you guys. That's cool.
Isn't that, you can pass video introductions. So let's say you were like, hey, I want you to meet my awesome realtor who's in my networking group. You can shoot over a video of your realtor to a friend of yours.
That is so
It is really
Nobody
cool.
does that.
Yeah. So
Well, you guys do, but I mean, but other companies don't. That is really, that's brilliant.
Yeah, so that's all really
And
built
can
in.
you could pass referrals to each other? Is it like a, what do they call it, app?
Yeah,
that you
there's
can
an
do?
app, you can do it all off your phone. It can
Oh
track,
my
you know, so
goodness.
you know, like if you're thinking, did I make that referral or not? You've got, you know, a history of that on your phone. So
Excellent.
Really
So,
awesome.
excuse me. With that being said, are there any professions you're currently looking for? Are there any professions that you're attracted to that you would like to build up on?
Absolutely. I tell you one that has been a little hands off for the last 2 months are CPAs or accountants, right? It hasn't quite been the time of year to be talking to those folks because they've been a little busy with tax season. So we're definitely wanting some good accountants, CPAs.
So the technology, that's very unique. Nobody else has that. That is awesome. I love that. And apps are the way. Everybody's doing everything with apps.
Yeah.
So with networking, I know a lot of people want to network. They're fearful of networking, or they've had a bad experience in networking. We've all had a bad experience in networking. What would you advise somebody to do if they're really fearful of just networking in general? They don't know if that's for them or not. What would you recommend this first step be?
Well, and I can share this because I'm newer to networking than Simon is I think putting your toe in the water, you know, starting to check out different types of networking groups because there's so many.
Yeah.
And to see what feels like the best structure for you. You know, are you somebody who thrives in a happy hour setting? I personally don't, but some people do. Right?
I don't either.
So I think finding the right setting and the right group of folks is helpful. I think a group like Network in Action where you actually get brought into a community is a very comfortable, kind of non-confrontational way to network because
I felt very welcomed. Yeah, it was very nice.
Yeah, but I think kind of dabbling a little bit, and even
Absolutely.
if it's like, okay, I can only tolerate this for a half an hour, but I'm going to go check this out for a half an hour and do this for a half an hour.
If you're not comfortable, leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also bring a friend.
Yes.
You know, I tell people a lot, if you have never networked before, go on Facebook and say, do any of you network and can I go with you once?
Yeah.
And just, you know, don't put yourself in a position like I did and, you know, go into a already room made of friends, and it was very overwhelming for me. That's my whole story. It's in one of my earlier videos. But I always say, bring a friend, find out from other people, interview people that are networking and find out what they did to network as well. And check out 2 or 3 different ones because there's morning ones. And what time do yours meet? What is your time?
We meet in the afternoon, 3:30 to 5 usually. So
3:30 to 5. And where are your locations right now?
we have one group in Lodo, downtown, and then one in the tech center.
Lodo.
Lodo.
That's the lower end of downtown. The low end. What do they call
It's
it?
like right across from
What
the
does
Union
that
Station.
mean? I
It's
Lower
just
down- lower
hip,
downtown.
right? Logo's
Right.
very hip.
I was just at Union Station a couple days ago getting photographed by a
Yeah.
photographer doing marketing or branding.
Yeah.
Branding photos. So, well, excellent. What I would like to ask, one last question that I would like to ask you is, why is it important to network if you've already got a successful business and you're too busy? Don't you love when you hear that? Oh, I'm just too busy. I can't network.
I think I can speak from my own experience. I can speak from client experience. I don't think you can ever stop building relationships. Things happen. Sometimes if you have a person that's sending you a lot of referrals, maybe they're moving out of town, maybe they're closing down business, industry changes. So you can never stop growing and building relationships, period. And maybe the quantity of how often and how much time you're dedicating to its changes, or your intent changes, but building new relationships, nurturing relationships, keeping a pulse on what's happening in the city, what's happening in other industries. There's so much that you can gain from just a little bit of networking as part of your personal growth and marketing strategy. So
yeah, I agree. So, I just want to say this. A lot of people network a lot, but they don't get a lot of results. So I say network minimal and invest in what you're networking in. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Because I know of people that they're like, I'm so exhausted networking, nothing's happening from it. Well, it's like from our other organization, they would say, this organization isn't working for me. And I always said, it never will. You have to work for it. You could be a part of this networking organization, but guess what? You have to invest in it, just like in relationships.
Yeah.
And I know for me, the relationships I've built, I literally, this is just something I always say, if I did anything bad, I know that I could call people, and one guy would say, I have a truck, another guy would say, I have shovels, and another person would say, I have 5 acres. We'll bury that body and nobody will find it. They deserve to die. That's just a Chicago joke. But really, those are the relationships I have. Yeah. If I ever needed anything, I know I have not only 2 hands full, but a lot of hands full of people I can call and say, I need your help, or I need a connection. And I think that's the power, is investing in the relationships. Well, listen, you guys, I really appreciate you being here, and I'm so proud of you to make that big step.
Thank you.
And I'm proud of you to have your own networking organization.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please feel free to reach out to either one of them. They will be glad to talk to you. If you're nervous about networking, call me. I'll let you know a little bit more about Sharon and Simon as well. So thank you both for being here with me today. I hope that you've all enjoyed this show. And remember, hit the subscribe button, the bell, and please leave a comment. We would love to talk with you. And thank you so much for being a part of this. And I hope that this is the best day of your life.